Well, hello, Amy. How are you today?
I'm good, and you?
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful to have you here. For sure, appreciative of you taking the time to join us on the Women of Color in Business podcast today. Let's begin with you introducing yourself and your business.
Well, first, I'm super excited to be here representing women in business.
Yeah.
My full name is Amy Bien-Aime. I'm the Chief Creative Officer and founder of Greyson Enterprises, where we provide the framework so that you can focus on the business. And what that means is that we handle all the back end work in terms of web design, content creation, any automations, and so that you can focus on your area of genius. So if you're a baker, for example, you're not the most tech savvy, we handle all the back end work in terms of structuring your business so that you can focus on baking cookies and so forth.
Got it, got it. Much needed in today's economy. So, Amy, let's talk about how your business journey began. So, when you first started your business, what was really your inspiration for going into business?
Okay, well, back in 2019, I started the business as a side hustle to help family and friends. It started with my cousin who was a hairdresser who needed assistance with setting up her scheduling tool for
Okay.
hair appointments.
Uh-huh.
And while she was in the middle of doing my hair, she like, "Aren't you techie? Don't you like doing this stuff?" And then so I'm like, "Yeah, give me your cell phone. Let me do this for you." That's basically how it started, right? So
Uh-huh.
I she handed me her phone and I did the back end configuration for her acuity scheduling tool. And by the time she was done with my hair, I was done with it. She like, "Oh, you did it that quickly?" And from there, it became a side hustle while I was working my 9 to 5 as an IT project manager. Um,
Okay.
and also in 2019, I didn't feel like my role was very fulfilling. Yes, as an IT project manager, I was a servant leader. Like, I did like what was for the best of the team and so forth. Like, I was in that mama bear role.
Got
However,
it.
it wasn't the most fulfilling for me. So I recall, and I don't know if you're religious, but I recall praying to God, like, I need something that's more like, that's supposed to be I'm like, what's my purpose? Something that's more
Ah,
aligned with my passion. And what came to me was that, because I have a background in IT, project management, and human resources, I love working with people. It came together, and I love design. It came
ah,
together to establish a web design business. From there, I was laid off on November 22nd, 2022. And I used that experience as an opportunity for growth. I was like, you know what, instead of working, like, jumping right into another job, let
right.
me go ahead and use that as an opportunity to build my business. So all of 2023, I went full throttle, like really going in terms of marketing and structuring and building a team. And that's how I came into place today.
Oh,
That's basically
wonderful. All right. What a journey. What a journey.
right.
So it started off as a side hustle for you, just from someone asking you to set up something, small for them.
Right.
And but also from your deep desire to know that you wanted to be more purposeful in what you were
Right.
doing it. You wanted to
Definitely.
what you were doing to resonate with your purpose, even though your job had elements of that, you wanted
Exactly.
something more meaningful. Wonderful, wonderful. That's wonderful to learn about. So, in talking about your business journey, when you first started your business, what were your resources? What would you say were the resources that helped you the most in getting going?
Well, first was finding my support system. Everybody's not an entrepreneur. Everybody doesn't have the mindset of entrepreneur. I remember my mom was like, "When you going back to work? Like like, this is real cute. Your little business is real cute, right?" So first was finding a tribe of like-minded individuals. Definitely for sure. I reached out to other successful entrepreneurs to see. I'm a very structured person as a project manager. I need a
Uh-huh.
roadmap, like a list, right? So I can't just be out here all willy nilly. So I reached out to other successful entrepreneurs to see who helped structure their business because that was a new avenue for me. And from there, I worked with a marketing company to help like in terms of marketing and like building the team, because that's the aspect of, you know, entrepreneurship I didn't know. I know I just wanted to build websites to help people and pretty.
Right. Right.
Um, so from there, that evolved into, so number one, a supportive tribe system. Number two was funding. Funding for me in the beginning was I was self-funded. I had a lucrative job, so I was like, you know what? God bless me. He
Uh-huh.
provided me with the opportunity to fail forward, you know, and I had the funds needed in order to pay for all of the support and services and so forth that I needed. However, I also used later on business credit as leverage
Uh-huh.
to pay down some of the expenses as well, taking advantage of, you know, 0% of interest rates, because I know I was going to turn around and get the money, you know, right back and pay down any balances. So funding was important as well. And then that turned into, let me learn about grants, like, you know,
Ah,
grants
yes.
are available as well. You know, people don't take advantage of it as often as you would think, because you know sometimes they come in with a defeatist attitude, like I'm not gonna get it, but you never know.
Right.
I'm one of the board members for Behind the Leaf, which is through Flourish Media, and we had a grant competition, but people didn't take advantage of it, like, you know, and I'm like, this was a free $1,000 that we're trying to give to business
Right.
owners, you
Right.
know. So take advantage of grant opportunities. If you need assistance, get a grant writer if need be. But there's so much help out here. There's so many resources out here, for sure. And then last but not least, I joined a lot of incubator programs. So
Ah,
I joined Scale Up 305, which is free of charge. And that helped also with like learning the operation side of it, and you know, more so than just building, like more so just really structuring and being more strategic about my goals.
got it. Got it. Very good information. Um, so basically you tapped into resources for the specialties that was not your main thing, you know,
Right.
kind of what you were helping other businesses do. You live your own message, you know.
Right.
My main thing is the tech side, but as far as structuring a business, let me tap into different resources and figure out the best way to do that. Incubator programs are excellent resource. And you talked a little bit about grants, getting grant funding. So
Right.
in your process of getting started, did you actually win some grants?
So for the most part, no, I didn't win a grant yet. That's like, that was like on the last leg of it. Right now I'm really getting in the process of building a professional development program, because now I'm into mentoring. The business has evolved so much. It started from web
Uh-huh.
design to
Right.
I'm in the process of building like a professional development program, which is, with the grant, you have to be strategic and find organizations aligned with your goals. So I'm building the program first, and then I'm really going to go full throttle. When I found how easy it was to win grants out here, I was like, what? Even like the incubator program I was a part of, which was a Scale Up 305, they had a $500 grant. I missed the opportunity because I didn't know about it, but they ended up giving all the recipients, all the applicants,
Oh,
five hundred
wow.
dollars. So you
Oh,
never
wow.
know, like, you know.
Right.
So
Right.
now I'm more so heavy into grants. I'm building the program first. Now that I know the blueprint of what to do,
Got it.
ma'am.
Got it. Okay. So I love that you said your business has evolved, because a lot of times some of the struggle for us as entrepreneurs is that we are afraid to pivot, or we
Right,
know we need to pivot, but we're still holding on to that original idea, like, okay, if I don't succeed in this A program that I set, then I'm a failure, as
right,
opposed to that was just my entryway into this bigger experience.
exactly.
Um, so tell us a little bit about how your business has evolved and your professional development program that you're putting together.
Yeah, so as I stated, it initially started as building websites for people. Then it turned into a therapist and helping people saying, "Hey, I'm doing it too. If I can do it, you can do it."
Right.
Like being the cheerleader and
Cheerleader, yes.
so again, being a servant leader and using my background in project management to keep people on track. We're gonna do this. We're gonna get to the finish line, providing a roadmap and so forth, right? Then it evolved into me trying acquiring help, right? Because I needed employees. So I looked for recent grads, interns, and then it turned into mentorship because I didn't understand.
Oh,
I didn't realize that they didn't have that corporate background that I'm used to, right? So it
got
was
it.
more so, you know what, let me get you job ready while I'm
Yeah.
out, while we're here. So that turned into like a whole mentorship program, and I utilized my background in human resources to be like, no, we got a meeting time. Like, come on, let me see what resumes, because for the interns, the whole goal is to try to make them land a role that that they went to school for, that they desire. So I tie whatever task to their role,
Got it.
their future self.
Got it.
And I basically help them land a job as well, like, with coaching, resume building, mock interviews. And I'm like, this is turning into something which is more fulfilling to me, which is what I love, right?
Uh-huh.
So that turned into that. And then from there, I'm like, people really need professional development out here. So that's why I'm building the like a professional development program. And I'm gonna use that as a way to get grants, like build a program around that. And I, also got
Okay.
certified with Miami-Dade County Public Schools so I can help recent grads as well. So I'm being more strategic. It turned into web design in the beginning, and now it's more so taking a strategic direction to
Got
get
it.
funding and so forth as well.
Okay. So is your professional development for college students, high school students, or business owners?
It'll be for, well, presently it's for recent college grads. That's who
Okay.
I presently mentor. Um, I also coach people, and it's not like more so like a service, but it probably should be service people. I assist recent I assist professional who have an interest in IT as well, like landing a role in IT, and I'll help them with
Okay.
resume building and so forth as well. But for
Okay.
the professional development program, it'll be for high school grads and recent college grads. So high school seniors to prepare them while they're in college, and then college grads to prepare them for the 9 to 5 role.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. I think that's excellent, especially for college grads, because there's nothing like completing college and really not knowing what to do next if you
Right,
didn't land a job, and plus needing that assistance like right before graduation to know how do I land it, how do I interview well, how
right,
do I set up my resume, to get my foot in the door. So
right.
wonderful things you're doing. I love that. So when starting your business journey, and as you said, we can see how it has evolved
Mhm.
to tap into all the different passions that you have for helping others.
Right.
What would you say has been your greatest challenge so far?
Whew. The greatest challenge
Yes,
and the ebb and flows of business. So it isn't consistent. So you have
got
to
it,
prepare for that, right?
got it.
So being lock in step with an accountant.
Okay,
Sure, funding is that as an entrepreneur, you have to separate the personal and the business. However, they go hand in hand now because you no longer have that 9 to 5 paycheck, that consistency,
right,
so it's more so like budget planning for sure, to prepare for any unexpected expenses.
got it, got it. Okay, yeah, that can definitely be a challenge.
Definitely.
Have you personally, I know you have kind of evolved into a mentor of others, but have you had any business mentors of your own in your journey?
Definitely. I had a couple.
Okay.
especially with the incubator program, a lot of the coaches, uh, I see them as mentors because it was more than just building like, helping to structure my business and build it. It was more so that one-on-one relationship that I established with them.
Ah,
Like, they really, you know, they really took the time to really hear my goals and tell me straight up, like, I like it raw and dirty. No, you should be doing this. Like, what is paying the bill? Like, I like the relationship that I was able to build with some of the coaches at Scale Up 305 for sure. And then also, I have a colleague of mine who left the 9 to 5 life as well. She's like my mentor as well. Who I call consistently when I'm like, I'm ready to go back. Like, I can't do this no more. When it goes on my low,
right,
to talk
right,
me back up and bring my spirits back up and like, girl, look how much you accomplished, to get me back
right.
on track, to knock me out of it. And then also to provide me with direction as well. I always say mentors are your cheat codes. You don't have to figure it out. Get you a good mentor.
Right.
And you can learn from their mistakes. So definitely, if you can get a mentor, find someone who's been successful in their path, like, of entrepreneurship, learn from their mistakes so that you don't have to take the same mistakes, and be open. So in terms of sharing your experiences, because they already taken the path, and you can just follow their roadmap.
Got it. Got it. Very good. Very good point. Mentors are like you said, you can find them in some of the unlikely places as they can even be a friend. But
Right.
to your point, you have to be open with what you're thinking, and you have to be willing to put your idea out there, put your real goals out there in order
Right.
to hear, what reality is, and
Exactly.
benefit from their experiences.
Definitely.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, in your the tech side of your business, where you were helping other companies,
Mhm.
what would you say was the most relevant problem you saw in businesses that needed to be solved?
Um, there wasn't enough time, but there's always time. They always feel like they don't
Mm,
have enough time. You make time
mm,
for the things you want, right?
right, right,
So, I always, like, in my questionnaire, I'm like, my question is, what is the projected deadline? When are you trying to launch this project? Like, what is real? But then I also get realistic with them, realistically speaking now, because we can't turn this around tomorrow.
right,
Do you have the bandwidth? Because it's a two-way relationship with me. I can only do so much. It'll be a collaboration to get this done.
right.
We're gonna make time for it. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm a project manager, so I'm gonna keep you on track. Yes. If you
Uh-huh.
want to get this done, then yes, we're gonna work together to get it done. So it's not that people don't have time. It's just that, as entrepreneurs, sometimes it's just a lot because you wear so many hats.
Yes,
You need that
yes,
person just to keep you on track and accountable for your
yes.
for the project to get it to completion. So I would say time is always a factor, but I always say you always make time for the things you want. And then especially if you're making an investment, what you got skin in the game,
Right,
you're gonna make time for it.
right, right.
So yeah,
Because
definitely.
you need to reap the benefit of that investment.
Exactly.
Yes. And to your point, as entrepreneurs, Black women-owned businesses is the fastest growing sector of
Hmm.
new businesses. And we usually come out the gate as solopreneurs. So it's just us
Right.
doing everything, like you said, wearing 100 different hats, trying to figure it all out. Um, and that can be the reason for that feeling of being overwhelmed. I don't have enough time because I have 1,000 things in my mind going around that I need to get done. So, how did you, is there something you can share with us to help that entrepreneur out there who's trying to find some way to structure what they're doing so that they can see more benefits of the energy they're putting into it, right? As
Right.
opposed to being all over the place.
Yeah,
What
because
would
I
you
I love
suggest?
structure. So definitely, first I would say is prioritize. Think about all the things that are giving you heartburn. So I always say, well, like, what are your pain points right now? Um,
Uh-huh.
a lot of the times people are taking appointments still over the phone when it could be automated online. You could streamline that workflow online and link it to your scheduling, to your calendar through a scheduling
Okay.
tool, you know. Sometimes it's content creation, where you can have somebody design it and schedule it for you. You set it and forget it. You don't got to think about it again for another month. Work with companies that can make your life easier. Sometimes you just need to make that investment, you know?
Ah,
In terms of marketing, there's so many channels depending on the industry, but you know, email is gold. So, you know, utilize your website in a way where you can capture that information and you can still have a stellar customer experience. You can use like a chat tool where you're like, for example, in Wix, you can chat through people while you're texting on the phone, but they're chatting on the
on
online,
the
like, you
web.
know.
Ah,
Utilize the tools that are out there. And if you're unsure of the functionality of some of these tools, that's why I'm like, what are the pain points first? And then we'll back
right.
into it and see what tools you can use to alleviate you of that problem, right? Reach out to companies that can help you with it. You know, like even on my YouTube channel, I have a lot of how-to videos, but sometimes a lot of people are like, I just don't want to do none of that. I'll just pay you to, you know? And that's cute and all, but
Right.
still like entrepreneurs to feel empowered that they don't have to call me every time they need to make an update. You can refer to one of the YouTube videos and it'll walk you through how to do it.
Got
So
it.
there's a tool for every pain point. And you know, AI is out here as well too.
Yes.
Utilize these tools. Don't be fearful of them. Jump right into it and learn how it can help your business.
Got it. Got it. Very good point. So, first look at what your major pain points are, and
Right.
then discover ways that you can use technology or resources out there to make those more automated,
Right.
less time intensive.
Right. Like
And it
again,
may
it comes
take,
back to time.
yes, exactly, exactly. Wonderful. So, have you ever had to pitch your business to anyone?
To pitch my business, not
Yes.
yet, but I'm
Okay.
gonna put myself more out there for 2024, which is why I'm trying to develop a program. Um, because it's more than web design now. It's more
Yes, it
than
is.
web design. I thought I was gonna be more so behind the scenes. I see now I have to be like I have to be the face of the business as an
Got
entrepreneur.
it.
I'm
Got it.
more introverted. I just like doing the back end work
Right.
and
Right.
helping other people shine. But now
Right.
I'm embracing it and, you know, being more in the forefront. So definitely, once I get everything aligned, I'm going to be out here pitching as well.
Got
Definitely.
it. Got it. And that's a challenge that a lot of entrepreneurs face because a lot of us, we're good behind the scenes. That's where we
Right.
do our magic, right? But in being the only person in your business, who else is
Right.
going to be out front, right? You end up having to wear that hat
Exactly.
too. So now I have to be out front talking about it and meeting with people and networking and that's a
Exactly.
skill that we develop out of necessity over time, not
Right.
out of desire, but out of necessity.
Right.
Wonderful, wonderful. So you've had a very interesting business journey.
Mhm.
I love the way that it has evolved, it has expanded. You've set new goals for yourself. Where do you see your business, say, in the next 3 years? Have you set a 3-year plan or a 5-year plan, or what are your thoughts on that?
Definitely. My
That's right.
the
You're the Miss Structure. Of course you did. What am I saying? Of course you
right.
do. You got it written down too.
God did not make us to live a mediocre life, right? Like we're supposed to be
That's
expanding,
right.
having new experiences, learning and growing, right? So if
That's
I feel like
right.
I'm too stagnant, I'm like, what am I doing? Like
Hmm.
everything's a new learning. Every challenge is a new learning experience, at least for me.
Right.
Like that's why I'm trying to like master grants right now for right now,
Yeah.
right? The future, again, like align with the professional development is to start a recruiting and staffing agency. And I'm starting that journey because it's aligned with the program that I'm trying to develop.
Right.
And I'm
Right.
already reaching out to people like in the industry that I want to be in, right? You know, it's evolving. But I want to develop a recruiting and staffing agency for IT professionals, right? And where they can get help from me in terms of coaching, resume building, and so forth. And I can align them with companies that are in need of their services. So
Got it.
I already started that process already.
Yes, yes.
And I I'm in the process of seeking a mentor who's you know, a leader in the recruiting and staffing agency, because I'm like, where HR gonna come in all this play?
Right, right.
But, but that's where I see that I shine, like working with people, and it's a I feel like I'm in alignment of my purpose for sure.
Got you. Got you. Wonderful, wonderful. I like that. That makes so much sense.
Yes.
So what has helped you stay the course in your business when times have gotten tough, or like you said, when you have those days, or do you have those days when you're like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this?
Right. And I go to God. I go to God, especially during tough times, because again, there's highs and lows. But like I always, I've noticed that the lows are very temporary. Like this is just me, like having like a temper tantrum because things are not going my way temporarily, right? But I do
Right.
thank God for direction because I feel like He put it in my heart. I ran away from it like in 2019 when it was a side hustle. I'm like, the business was coming to me and I'm not even marketing. So I was like, but it was like a persistent, it was like a persistent like knock, like, what are you
Nagging,
doing?
right.
Yeah, it was like a nagging feeling, right?
Hmm.
And I'm like, so that's why I really go to God. I'm like, God, you wanted me to do this now. Like, what's the direction? So, like I always say, I meditate in the morning, like give gratitude first so that I can be in that vibration of like positive energy. And also so that I can realize that what you about to complain to God about? Like your life is not easy. You got so much to be grateful about, right? And then I make my desires known to God. And then so I go into prayer first, I'm sorry. And then after that I go into meditation just to listen to God, just to hush, be still and see what direction or what message he has for me. And then I also look for, you know, like be intentional and look for signs throughout the day, because if it's something that that's really like giving me heartburn,
Uh-huh.
I'm really gonna like seek God and like, God help me. But for the most part, once I start expressing gratitude, it's like
It
ma'am.
changes your mood, doesn't it?
Definitely.
I
Yes.
love that. I love that. Yes, I do a gratitude journal too. And one
Right.
of the key benefits of it is that it gets because we're wired to really pay attention to the pain points, the
Right.
negatives, because our system is built to solve problems.
Mm,
So when we have problems, it holds on to that information. Okay, so next time this problem comes up, right, we know how to address it.
right.
But sometimes it can manifest as us holding on to the negative, thinking about the negative constantly.
Mm-hmm.
So what gratitude journaling does, or even just thinking three gratitude thoughts does, is it helps to shift that in our mind and our system so that now we are akin to the positive more. We more
Right.
easily accept the positive instead of just focusing on the negative. And it really takes a intentional effort to remind ourselves something good happened today. Let me
Definitely.
take a minute and let me focus on that. Let me take that all in, let me
Right.
give myself a little pat on the back and let me accept that something good happened. And I can,
Exactly.
I can be in that moment for a while instead of jumping to the next thing that I got to get done. Let me let that
Right.
soak in. Let me get my body used to soaking in that as much as we soak in the problems and run to fix those. So it really
Right.
is a process with the entire body. So it's wonderful that you wake up in the morning with that process and you can instantly see, like, okay, what was I complaining about again? Because now you've soaked
Exactly.
in all this. I'm grateful, and your body
Exactly.
is full of that energy. and now it can't even touch, it can't even feel that other negative energy, right,
Yeah.
anymore. You have to search for it. That's wonderful. I love that.
You know what was very helpful for me to realize that was when I got laid off. This was the first time I was ever laid off, fired, whatever you want to call it, from a job. And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
what is happening here? Right? I was laid off on a Zoom call with 250
Oh,
other colleagues. It
wow.
was so cutthroat, right? And
Wow.
I was in shock that this was happening. And the first thing, like you said, you immediately like, oh my God, you go into problem solving mode. Oh my God, I gotta go apply for a job, I gotta send my resume, like,
Yes.
immediately. And I'm like, something told me to hold on, wait a
Uh-huh.
second, just relax, And I remember going outside in the sun, sitting in the sun, and I was like, God, what is happening here?
Uh-huh.
And something just told me to hush and just be still for a second. And I remember um like God telling me, look how I prepared you for this moment, and like going through, like, because I had just started that job and it was very lucrative, and I was able to pay
Mm.
off a whole bunch of credit card debt. Like my credit card debt was cleared, and I was it was like a, how can I say, like going like month by month of, look how I was preparing you for this moment. Why are you,
Ah,
calm down? Like, I would never forsake you. I'm protecting you. Like, I prepared you for this moment,
right.
and
So you did a reflection. You did a
yeah, reflection.
reflection
That's
of
the,
what had transpired. Got you.
yes, to get me to this moment. And
Right.
I remember I was talking to a friend. It was like, wow, your life was falling apart, and you and you really held it together, and it was nothing but God, because when you take a moment to reflect, like, okay,
Yes.
use this as an opportunity. I'm giving you an opportunity to do what you're really passionate about. Didn't you remember praying to me that, for passionate
Uh-huh.
about it?
Right.
I gave you an
Remember when you
opportunity, take it.
said, right? Now here it is, the joke about the guy who was waiting for God to come save him, and he sent him a
Yes,
boat, he sent the plane, he sent all kind of people. He was like, "Well, I was waiting for you." I sent you all those that came from me,
right.
right? So right, so you were able to sit in the situation and reflect and
Right. Sometimes
see it
be
for what it was.
still. Just really
Yes,
reflect.
right, right, amazing. I love that. I love that. So, what do you do, Amy, to take care of your mental health? Because I know as entrepreneurs, we are often in that go, go, go mode. And even with structure, there is no there is no end to what you can find to do, right? There's always
Right.
something you could be doing. But
Mhm.
how do you keep a balance and allow yourself to take care of yourself mentally?
You know what helps with that is my daughter. She's 8 years old, and
Ah,
she's so carefree. And I'm like, she
uh-huh.
don't got a care in the world. Look at her, right? So I always carve out time for her, especially because, like you said, you're always on go, go, go. And she always has something. Mom, let's go to the beach today, Mom. Like, so, right.
Right.
So that's one activity. Like, the one-on-one time, it's like no work mode. It's mommy mode, but it's still fun, right? And then
Got
at
it.
other times, like, I always make it a point to at least have one self-care day per month, at least once a month, right?
Uh-huh.
Where, just be a little selfish and have a little spa day here,
Yeah,
or just some girl time, and no kids, no work, no nothing, just,
got it.
so yeah, be a little selfish sometimes and take care of yourself, because it's cliche that, when they say that if you can't pour from an empty cup, but it's so
Right.
true.
It
In the
is.
beginning of my journey, I felt so depleted and burnt out. I'm
Ah,
My friend was saying, let's go to St. Kitts, and I was like, you know what, I'm going, because I'm burnt out. I need a
uh-huh.
break. And I still worked on that
Yes.
trip or whatever, but
Wonderful.
it was, yeah, make time for yourself.
Yes, yes, because a lot of times we can go through the experience of feeling guilty for taking time off, for
Right.
resting when we need to rest, for, like you say, getting away when we just need a total mental break.
Right. And
Um,
again, you make time for the things that are important to you. And that is extremely important. Like, so carve out time to take care of yourself because the business can't run without you. So
right.
you got to take care of yourself.
Yes. I love that. I love that. What would you say are one of the things that you know now, having
Mhm.
been an entrepreneur for a couple of years, that you wish you had known sooner?
Don't be afraid to ask for help. We are not
Ah,
superwomen out here. I don't know. I don't want to be a strong black woman. No,
ah,
I
uh-huh.
got into the habit of help. I need help. No, I need help. Like, even if it's paid help, even if it's help from family, even if it's just a listening ear, even if it's
Yes.
going to God, like, you can't be
Yes.
all on your own. You can't,
Right.
especially being like a solopreneur. I was so happy when I got my
Yes.
team. Like, you can't do it all by yourself. So ask for help. Like, don't be prideful. I know I'm a very private person. You don't have to, dispel your entire business or your plans, but don't be afraid to ask for help. Ask for
Mm,
help.
mm,
And then also there's so many resources out here, especially for businesses that I'm uncovering every day. So
mm.
make it a point to put yourself in rooms where you can acquire that information. There's so many workshops. There's so many programs. There's so
Uh-huh.
many funding opportunities, and sometimes it's just all on making yourself known in that room, making your presence known in that room, building relationships. Sometimes you'll get help from the person you least expect,
Uh-huh.
so put yourself out there. I'm not saying put your whole, your entire business on blast, but seek help and don't try to do it all on your own. That's how you're gonna burn out real quick and you
Right.
like give up and want to just go back to work,
Right. Go back to the
go
9 to 5.
back to the 9 to 5. Yeah.
I love that. That is great advice because a lot of times we see others who are further along in their journey or being more successful than we are, and we think, dog, it's not like that for me. I must be doing something wrong, or I don't know enough, or I'm not talented enough, as opposed to maybe you just need some help. Maybe you need more
Right.
information, you need more resources, you need a mentor, or you need to just talk to other people who are going
Exactly.
along the same journey so you can know this is common, right?
Right.
You're gonna have ups and downs. You're gonna have those days where you're burnt out and you just need to rest and get back up tomorrow, right? So
Exactly.
yeah, I love that. I love that. So when you're working with the entrepreneur on the tech side of your business, what would you
Mhm.
say are the three top things you advise that company to do if I were to come to you as a company who I'm just getting everything started off the ground. I don't have a lot of funds, but I want to gain more exposure for my business.
Mhm.
How would that conversation go with you?
Well, first I would tell them to get their digital presence on track. So put your in terms of your website, listing yourself on Google, for example, making sure you don't have your home address or a PO box as your address. Use like a virtual address so that they can see that this is a professional business. I always tell my clients to put yourself in the end user perspective, right? When somebody first tell you about a business or a person, because I work with a lot of coaches and consultants as well, you're gonna Google that person, right? You're gonna go be all up on the Instagram and
Right,
see what they're all
right,
about. Like for example, for a boutique owner, if I see a Gmail, I'm instantly gonna think, am I gonna receive my outfit? Like, is this a established business or is this,
right.
So I always say, think about your digital presence. Um, get you a 1-800 number if you can. If you can't, get you a Google Voice number. Get a VoIP number. You know what I mean? Get you a virtual address. Don't use your physical address.
Mm-hmm.
Don't use the PO box as well, especially when you're going after funding. Um, uh, I'm sorry, when you're going after funding, they research all of this. They look at your
Mm,
digital presence. So I say list yourself. That's a free service. You could list yourself on Google. Have your website. there's so many website builders out there where you can just use a template and you're just dragging and dropping. Make it a point, at least make it a point if you're a culture consultant to get a professional photo shoot or get a professional headshot and use a lot of stock photos, like, so that you have that professional image. You want to give out that image that, you're serious about your business and you're somebody that I would want to work with. So if we're doing iPhone pictures and Gmails and so forth, they're not, your end user may be like, it's a little sketchy. I don't know if I'm gonna receive my product. Like, put yourself in their
Right.
shoes. Think about what you do when you're researching somebody or a business. Think about like in terms of investor, would they want to invest in your business? And if you see that it's too much, then reach out to help. Reach out for help in terms of turning your marketing strategy around, turning your branding around, and getting your awareness out there in the way that you envisioned for your company. A lot of times, we have big visions, and I'm like, dream big. We weren't made to live a mediocre life. Yes, dream big.
Right.
But all you gotta do is really back into it, and also back into it, but also don't get overwhelmed. We have a lot of dreams for our business. We have a lot of tasks.
Yes.
So I always say
Yes.
prioritize it, tackle that one task, and then move on to the next. Because if you're doing a whole bunch of things at once, you're
Mm.
doing a whole bunch of nothing. Like,
Uh, testify. Yes. Yes.
you gotta tackle it one at a time so that you can see your progression. You're like, okay, step one, I opened my business bank account. It's not going to my personal, like, okay, step two,
Right.
that's why I'm like, I love a good checklist, task list, roadmap, whatever
Yes.
you want to call it, so that you stay on track and so that you can see your progression. You're making moves. I did it with my own business. I prioritized first. I know the first thing I had to do was structure it. I'm like, let me structure it. Okay, then let me get into marketing and then let me,
Got
take
it.
it one step at a time. Don't do everything all at once. That's how you get easily overwhelmed, burnt out, and then you
Right.
feel like you're not making any progress. And then that's when you go into comparison and all that. You don't know what they got
Yes.
going on. Like,
Right. Right.
take it
Right.
one step
Or
at a
who's on your
time.
team? But yeah, exactly.
Right. But I would definitely say work on your digital presence as well. Image is everything. Think about if it was you, like, in that your end user shoes.
Right. A lot of great tips you gave us there. I hope everyone was taking notes. That was a lot of good information. One of the things you said that was a key was that don't try to do everything at one time, because a lot of times, especially creative entrepreneurs, we
Right.
get a lot of different ideas. Oh, you may be talented in a couple of different areas.
Right.
And so you're thinking, my business needs to do all of this at one time, as opposed to let me focus on one thing and get that rolling, and then I can always add
Mm,
the others, right? Because you're
exactly.
scattered and you're thinking this means defeat because I can't get it all done. When it
Right.
really means you just need to prioritize a little more and make your focus stronger on one thing and then slowly add the others, right?
Yeah, your business is always going to be evolving. It's not rigid. It's not static. Like, you're going to continue to evolve as you go along anyways. Just take it one step at a time. Like I started with I evolved
Right,
naturally, but I
right,
started with this web design. I just thought I was just going to do web design. Then it turned into automations. Then it turned into mentoring. So
right.
like, like you said, you got to be able to pivot as new trends come out as well. You're going to be continuously learning. It's
Yes,
just an opportunity for growth is what I see
right,
entrepreneurship as. So just take it one step at a time. One step
right.
at a
I
time.
love that you said that it is definitely an opportunity for growth.
Hmm.
And that can be a struggle for a lot of us too, because sometimes it's personal growth that we
Right.
need to accomplish to get to the next level in our business, right? We're stuck in the business because the person needs to grow some to
Exactly.
handle the next level of business that's coming or that you have to do. So it may be growth in areas like networking, talking to
Yes.
people. It may be growth in areas like you need to take a class and get certified in something, right?
Right.
But growth is constant as an
Hmm.
entrepreneur. So don't, I just want a listener not to ever feel like because they don't have it all today or they reach a point where they feel like they're less equipped. Just get
Right.
equipped, take that class, get that lesson, go to that free class, join that incubator, whatever. Get the resources to take you to the next level. And also personally, and you talked about professional development, but personal development is also necessary. There may be some things you need to let go of personally. There may be some forgiveness you need to do in order
Right.
to go to the next level, right? It's
Hmm.
all interrelated. It's
Definitely.
not just your business over here, then you're over here, then your spiritual life is over here, and then your mental health is over here. It has to all flow together because
Exactly.
one affects the other. So
I definitely agree with that.
So, Amy, we've learned so much about Amy, the entrepreneur. Let's learn a little about Amy, the person. So, I'm going to hit you with about 5 quick personal questions, fun
Okay.
things for you to
Okay.
share with us. The first one is going to be, what was your favorite childhood game?
My favorite childhood game, um, I would say hide and seek. Hide and seek,
Ah,
because I feel like kids these days don't play outside no more either. I'm like, what is going
yeah,
on with this son? Like, but
right.
I cherish that childhood memory because me and also my cousins, we grew up close knit. We did everything together, everything
Uh-huh,
together. So we were always playing outside, and hide and seek came to me instantly as like a bonding experience because I feel
uh-huh,
like the kids these days are always on their phones and
right.
YouTube, and I'm
They
like,
are. They are. They're
really? I feel
solo
like,
a lot.
yeah, it's so wholesome and it's just like
Yeah.
a fun activity.
Yes, I
Yeah.
love it. And very simple, hide and seek. Okay, next question. What is the favorite place either that you've traveled to or your dream travel destination?
Ooh, my favorite place, which was surprising, the one I went off on a whim was St. Kitts, to the point
Oh,
I ran it back the following November. So I
oh
love St.
wow.
Kitts. I don't know how my friend picked that place, but that's when
Uh-huh.
I was out and I was like, yeah, I'm coming with you. So maybe that's why too, but it's such a beautiful island, and then it's close to Nevis, so you can take like a boat, and you're in a whole new country. So
Oh wow.
it's a beautiful place, beautiful people. Everybody always go to Jamaica, Bahamas, and so
Right,
forth.
right.
I think Kitts and Nevis. And a place I've always wanted to go to was Santorini, Greece. I don't know
Oh
how it's gonna
really?
be, but that's been on my vision board for a little minute now, and I'm
Oh
gonna
wow.
do it.
That's very interesting because I was curating a retreat, a women's retreat in Greece
Really?
recently. So that's very interesting you said that.
Yes,
Wonderful.
Santorini.
Okay. So what would you say is your favorite meal?
Well, I'm Haitian, so I love me some Haitian food. I don't cook as well as my mom, but
Ah,
they when you make Haitian food, it's so there's like shortcuts to it.
uh-huh.
It's just such an intricate process. I'm like,
Got
why is it so long? But it's because
right.
it tastes so good. Like,
Yes.
take the shortcut
Yes.
way. That's why my mom's food tastes better than mine, but mine's still right. But yeah, Haitian food for sure. Specifically my mom's food.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. Okay. And the last question, let's say, um, hmm, if you could meet anyone from any time,
Mm.
have a conversation with them, who would you choose?
Oh. It's gonna get a little personal, but I would say my dad, who passed away when
Ah,
I was 7.
ah,
Just to like I would want to know, are you proud of me? Like, and stuff like that.
right.
Like, I didn't like with Haitians, either got to be a nurse or an accountant. Like, remember I told you my mom was like, when you going back to work? This is
Right, right.
start of progress. So, like sometimes I feel his presence.
Uh-huh.
And a young girl has a bond with their father, and I lost my father at such a young age. So
Yeah.
definitely he was the first person that came to mind.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love that. I love that. All right. Well, thank you so much, Amy, again for spending
Thank
your time with
you.
us today, sharing your journey with our listeners. I know they learned so much today. We're grateful for it. Thank you.
Well, I was excited to be here. This was so fun. And thank you for inviting me.
Definitely. I'm so glad I did. So enjoy the rest of your day and be well.
You too. Have a great
Thank you.
one.
You too.